GitHub is easier than Git Bash.
Yeah, the Git Bash is
Merging
like a
all the
command line tool that we may end up using it in the company a little bit, but mostly you work on the GitHub only.
GitHub. Yeah.
Mostly GitHub, yeah.
I,
So,
I I have little bit experience on that.
oh, okay,
I did actually before merging all those things.
okay,
And I'm learning DevOps only.
okay, cool. So, github.com. So, we just installed the Git client in previous session. So in this session, we will talk about the github.com and why we use this and why it helps to collaborate within a company with our teammates and other team members. Okay. So in Git, we have seen creating the repos and creating the branches and merging the branches and making the different changes. Like you make changes in one branch and you don't see the same changes in another branch, and then you merge it and then you see the log, right? So all this we have seen with the Git client. So now we are going to talk about GitHub. So GitHub is like a hosted repository service. Like we also have a similar one in the market called Bitbucket. Okay, so when you join the company, your company may be using GitHub or the Bitbucket. So GitHub we picked up because mostly people are using the GitHub in nowadays. So GitHub is good to learn. So when you log into GitHub, you may see different screen because already I'm GitHub. I have my GitHub account from since 5 years. So I have so much of data, but you may see empty if it is a new account. So what you do, you just go to the GitHub doc. This click this AutoCAD, then you will go to your home page. Okay, so let's create our first hosted repository in the github.com. So now I go here, you see here your repositories, right? So if you click on this, you will get the list of repositories that you actually own. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new one here. So it talks about the template. They recently released a template, but don't worry about that. Now you have an owner. So if you are part of multiple organizations, then you will see everything getting dropped down here. I'm choosing this Lokesh Kamale at the moment, and I'm creating my repository name. So I would create my repository name as a DevOps training. Okay, and you can put some description as well. Okay, this is a repository. So now here you choose public or private. So what is the difference? So public, you know that everyone can see it. Private means no one can see. Only you have to let people access your repository if they wanted to contribute or see your source code. Okay, so currently we only choose a public because we're just keeping some test data. So the private, if you want to have more number of private repositories, then the github.com will charge you. Okay, so initially they allow 7 private repositories, I think, but not sure about the current policies. So I pick up the public, and then we have initialized this repository with this file. So remember, in a Git client, we did a command called git init, that is initialization, right? So similarly, now we are initializing a Git repository in the github.com. So previously we did in our laptop, but now we are doing in a github.com, which is a hosted service, right? So here it is asking, do you want to create an empty repository or you want me to add a file for you in advance? You want empty or add a file? Just pick the empty one so that I can show you. So I have this, maybe I will add a file. I'm adding a file now, add a readme.me file. Okay, I create repository. See now I got the repository created. So here, if you check, this is the branch. So in Git client, when we create it, we got the branch name as a master, right? But here it is showing as a main. The difference is, so GitHub is actually having the repo structure as a master branch only, but due to the recent naming convention changes, so they had to remove some offensive language. So now they changed from master to main. So now onwards, whenever you create a new branch, you get the master branch as a named as a main branch. Okay, don't get confused about that. You may see some videos people showing master branch over there, but now you're seeing main branch. That is the difference. So this is a readme file you
Actually,
have.
when I did, it was master. The branch
When
was. When
yesterday,
I did it, no, no, no. Actually, I did like 4
yeah,
months back, I think.
yeah, they
It was
changed recently.
master.
Yeah, they announced like a month ago, I think. Okay, yeah, from October 1st, 2020. Okay, so now we have got a one branch. So how am I going to create the files here? So if you go to the here, so you can see add files here. So you can also add files directly. Okay, so now let me create one quick file and add it to the repository. So I am on the desktop. I'm going to create my first first file. Maybe I would say test.sh bin.sh test file, just like a test file. So now add file. So you can create a new file or you can upload a file. So if you want to create a new file, so you can type entire your contents here. But generally we don't recommend creating the new file here because there could be some typos, there could be some indentation issues, right? So that's why we always try to upload the files. So now I cancel this. I go here, upload the files. So you can attach multiple files at a time. So now I'm going here, I go to the desktop. This is the test.sh. Here, commit message. So you can put the commit message, whatever you want. If you don't put it, by default, you will have these messages. But make sure that whenever you put the proper commit messages, okay? So this is the committing. So now I see readme.md and test.sh file. Okay, so these are all the two files I have currently. So if you click on the two commits, so this is exactly the equal command to git log. So now two commits. The first commit, initial commit. So when we created the repo, we added a readme.md file. That's the first commit, and the second commit. You see, now we have two commits here. Now again, I go back to the code here. This is the code where you go here. You see tabs, right? The code tab will give you number of files here. This is fine. Now you join the company, new company. Okay, so already they have been using the github.com and they have already their repositories. So now how you are going to work on it? Technically, we are not allowed to directly edit the files in the github.com. So you may, if it is a like small typo mistakes or some small changes that you know that what you're doing and you're going to work on only one file, then of course you can directly edit that file on the github.com itself. Okay, but if you want to do it through the editors, then you have to have a git installed in your machine and then a corresponding editor. It can be your git bash or it can be some VS Code, IntelliJ, or your Eclipse, whatever it is. Okay, so in this case, I have my VS Code here. You can also install, it's a free. You can just go and download the Visual Studio Code. So you will get the editor. I like this editor a lot. So now I'm going to start this. So this will launch editor for me. Okay, so now I'm going to create, open a new file, or maybe I can also open a file as well. So first I'm going to create the space here. So you may be seeing this when you first started. You may not see all this because I have been using it recently. So once you get your editor, so now you need to access this. The first thing what you need to do, you see the code here. If you drop down, you will see options to clone it. Clone means downloading your source code in your local machine. That is the first step. Here you have multiple options. So one is HTTPS, second one is SSH, and third one is GitHub CLI. So GitHub CLI is a new version they have released. So we can also use a GH command to clone the repositories. But we generally prefer the HTTPS and SSH. Okay, so I am choosing HTTPS now. We will discuss about SSH later. So now I copy this URL completely. Okay, I copy this URL completely. Now I go to my terminal. So I'm going to choose, a place where I'm going to keep my stuff. Okay, so okay, I'll go to the desktop. I'm at the desktop now. I'm going to create a directory called SUV. I go inside the SUV, right? I don't have anything here. Now I'm just pasting that command. The command says there is no command, it's just like a URL. So we have GitHub, this thing. So if you want to initialize a new repository, we always use the git init, right? That is for the new repositories. But we already have a repository created in the GitHub. Now we wanted to download that. To download, you have to use a different command. The command is git clone. Clone means we are cloning a copy of what you have in the github.com to your local machine. Okay, so I just pasted this. This is what I did. The command is git clone and your repository location. I hit the enter. So it says cloning into DevOps training, blah, 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 done. Now if I do ls minus -lhtr, I can see a directory getting created. So if I go inside the directory and if I do ls minus -lhtr, now I can see readme.md file and the test.sh file. So what do we have here? See, we have two commits here, right? Now let me make a commit, git log. See, I got both commits. Everything is same. We just cloned the entire repository. So now we have cloned. What is the next step? So now we wanted to edit the files. Now let's edit the file and see it. So I do the git branch. It says main branch because the branch we are working on the main branch, right? Now I'm going to edit the file. VM, the file name is test.sh. That is the file we had there. Okay. Now I'm adding another content. Now let me do this. Okay. Uh, Adding.
It's echo.
Yeah. Additional content. I just added this, right? Okay. I will discuss on this bug fixes later. Okay. So now I'm going to just do the adding additional content. Okay. Now I see git status. It says modified because now I have modified a file, right? Now I need to add this, right? Git add and then do the git status. Now it is in green mode. Green mode means it needs to be committed. I commit the change. Git commit -m. I pass a message. Updated the test.sh file. Done. Now you do git status. It says your branch is ahead of origin main. What is origin here? Origin means from where you have downloaded this repository. So we have downloaded from GitHub, right? So this becomes the origin. Okay. So in origin, so in your hosted repository, how many commits you have? You still have only 2 commits, right? But whereas in your local, you have 3 commits, 1, 2, 3. That is the reason it says your branch is ahead of origin main. So your branch, the current branch is ahead of your origin branch. So you have made some more changes which are not available still in the github.com because you did made changes locally, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push these changes. Push the changes means, so now whatever changes I have made in my local, I am pushing the changes to hosted repository so that other team members who are in my team, now they can also see the changes I have made. Okay, so now the command is git push. So where you want to push? I want to push to origin. Origin. So I always recommend that you always use the proper branching naming as well. If you run this command, automatically it goes, but I would recommend that you always choose the branch name that you are pushing. Slash branch name, that is a main. So I want to push my source code, whatever I have in my local code, to the repository origin under this branch. Okay, so here once I execute the command, it will ask you to provide the username and the password. Okay, so make sure that whatever username you have given while creating the github.com, which is this is the username Lokesh Kamal, you see github.com/this. This is called the handle ID. In GitHub terms, they call handle ID. Okay, so what is your handler? Handle, yeah. So you give that and then password whatever you have chosen for the github.com. So once you provide that, your Windows or your Mac will try to store that password in a secret keys, access keys, whatever it is. So that next time when you try to use the same command, then it uses the default stored credentials. Okay. If you give the wrong credentials and then you force to save the credentials, then github.com next time doesn't prompt for the password. By default, it always try to use the previous stored incorrect password and it complains saying that I cannot reach. To override that, you have to open the Windows password manager and then delete the github.com credentials and then retry it. Okay, now I do the git push. Correct access rights. So this is what it is giving me. Yeah, I just did the git push now, origin directly. So it was giving me some error on this main branch. So let's see, I'll check that. So I did the git push origin now. So it went ahead and taken all the details. So remember, when you create a repository as a public, anyone can download, anyone can see your code. But if they want to make some changes to your code, then they have to be added as a collaborator. Okay, to your repository. And even if you want to commit your own, then you need to provide your credentials because GitHub doesn't know that this laptop belongs to you and you are the one who is working on it, right? So now I push the changes. If I do git status, everything is clean. So now if I go ahead and refresh the screen, I get 3 commits now. This is the commit. Updated the test.sh file. If I open this file, these are the changes are added. You see plus symbol. We'll discuss these differences. So now if I open the test.sh file, I can see the new line as well. Clear? But in a company, we generally don't work on the master or the main branch. The reason behind this, so in the production, your main branch or the master branch must be protected. So whatever currently you are running in the live, that code should exist in this branch. It means this code is always buildable and this code will work 100%. That is the reason. So in case something goes wrong with your production environment, you can still build your code from this branch and bring your application up from different environment with exact features. That is the reason we don't touch this. So, so how do we make the changes then? So for that, we always need to create a new branches. So now I have a main branch here, right? I'm going to create another branch. What is the another branch? So GitHub has some naming conventions that it's good if you follow that. So whenever you are trying to enhance the feature means you are going to add some more features on top of existing one. So currently in your e-commerce site, you just have a home and the contacts. So now you are going to add some additional tab. It's an additional feature, right? So it is going to be feature underscore enhance, followed by, after that it's up to you what you want to put. You want to give a proper name of the work you are going to work, or you want to provide the reference number. So in the company we always work on the user stories, or there could be some unique reference number where we can track it. Okay, so you can say user story 1 2 3 4 5. Then your lead, your scrum master knows that, okay, so this branch is created for this user story, and then he logs into the Jira system or some other system. Then he verifies this user story and see what are the changes are expected in this branch, so that he can get all the details about what you are going to make changes in this branch. But here we don't have the user stories. I would say I'm going for loop. I wanted to add a for loop in my shell script. Okay, example. So you see the branches. So whenever you type a branch here, if the branch doesn't exist, then it will give you an option to create from which branch. So since I was in main branch before and there's a new branch, it always asks me to, do you want me to create the new branch from this branch? You can say yes, main branch. See, I got my branch created. Feature enhance for loop and the main branch. Okay, so now we have two branches. Now, once branch is created, then you go back to your laptop. Now I am actually deleting this one. I am deleting this one. It's a fresh start again. Okay, so I created a new branch in my github.com. Now I went to my Git client here. Now I wanted to work on my branch. Okay, so the same command I need to execute is git clone and then copy this entire URL and then paste it here and hit the enter. Now I see this DevOps training getting created. I go inside the DevOps training. I have the file. So remember, before you start working on, you always make sure that on which branch you are working currently. That is the most important thing. Many people just clone the repository and they start working on it, assuming that they are working on their own branches. So you always verify the git branch command here. See, it is only giving you the main branch. What happened to another branch, right? That is the problem. There is a thumb rule. Whenever you clone the repository, you confirm on which branch you wanted to work on, and then you verify that. Okay, that's most important. So now I have got this branch, but it's not showing up here. So what I need to do, if you execute git branch minus a command, it is going to show you all the branches, including the origin branches. You see, I have the main branch, which is local because it doesn't have any origin here. So here it says remote origin. Currently, you are pointing to main branch, and this is the new branch, which we don't have it as a local branch. To do that, what we need to do, you just need to simple git checkout. So what is the branch name you're working on? Feature enhance for loop, right? You can also pick the branch name from here. That's it. So branch for setup to track remote branch origin, switch to a new branch, feature enhance for loop. So if I do git branch now, you would see two branches, main and the feature enhance for loop. And this is says green and the star here. So you are currently working on this branch. Now we are good. So now we currently pointed to our branch on which we wanted to work. So now let's go ahead and add another file. Bin sh for clear read minus p, enter a number, and I'm going to read it in a variable n or num for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to num, I is equal to I plus 1, 2, done. It's simple loop, right? Now I do git status. Now I'm going to add the file git add and then git commit. Git commit minus m, added the for loop as per user story, blah blah blah. Now done. Now do check the status. It says again you are ahead of this branch. Now how am I going to push it? Git push origin. So I gave the slash here, right? We need to give the space and the branch name. You don't need to provide the branch name, but I always recommend that you provide the branch name. So it went ahead and pushed the details. See, already I got the message here less than a minute ago. That's fine. Let's refresh this. Now you see in the feature enhance, I see the for.sh and the contents are this, right? If I change to main branch, oops, oh, I don't have the file here, right? Yeah. If I change, yeah, if I change to main branch, I don't have that file, but I do have it in the feature. So for and the main. Now, which is good. So how I'm going to merge the changes. This is perfect, right? So now I wanted to work on my developer branch. I worked on my feature enhance requirement branch. I made the changes. Now, how about merging? How do we do
We
merging?
we use the command, right? Git merge branch name.
Mhm. That is a Git way of doing it. But when we work on the GitHub, we don't do that. So when we have a hosted repository and many people are working on their own branches, we generally don't recommend people to merge the branches but on their laptop. They always have to use the GitHub feature. What is that GitHub feature and how does it help a team to solve the problems and all everything? Okay, now let's see. Now I have this pull request, sorry, I have this branches, main branch and the feature branch. Okay, so now I'm a developer, right? So I'm a developer. I've created my own branch. I made the required changes. So now I wanted to make it to production. So it is my responsibility to inform the lead or the scrum master to merge the change. So how do you inform him? How do you inform that your changes are ready? You can drop an email, you can ping him, you can call him, or you can stop by his desk. But that is not the official way. The best approach is the pull request. What is the pull request here? The pull requests talks about you wanted to merge the change from one branch to another branch. So you are asking a pull request, hey, can you please pull my changes into this branch? I'm requesting you. This is what this means. So I click the pull request here. At the moment, I don't have any. I go with the new pull request. What is the base? Base means you see the direction. It is going to your left from this branch to this branch. So I want to go to main branch from which branch? The feature branch. So whatever changes you have in the feature branch, I'm asking them to pull into this branch. In the Git client, we do the git merge command, but in the GitHub, we use a pull request, the pull request concept. So why do we use it? It has so many features, so many additional verifications, status checks and all. That we'll discuss. Now I am creating a pull request. So this is the commit message that we have given previously. It comes up automatically, but we need to provide the proper comment here. Okay. So I worked on the assigned user story and tested successfully. Please merge the changes. Right now, you see the reviewers, assignees, labels, projects, milestones. So these are all the additional that you can assign to your pull request. Let's suppose in your company, you have 10 developers working on. Okay. So developer A is working on developer A branch and developer B is working on developer B branch. Okay. Developer A is an experienced guy. He's very experienced guy. He knows how the code works, everything. So you are a new to the company. So you wanted to inform the developer A that can you please verify my code whether this is a proper or not, because one feature can be developed in multiple ways. Let's suppose I wanted to write a loop. So you can use while loop, you can use until loop, you can use for loop, right? You can use multiple loops. So maybe you have used the until loop. Okay, so it's working fine, but you wanted to have your developer review it. So then he will verify the code. He will make a suggestion. Hey, why are you using until here? Until actually create a lot of stress on your CPUs. Why don't you use a for loop? Very simple, right? Those recommendations. So that is the reviewers here. They are going to review your code. Assignees mean who is responsible for pulling these changes into the target branch. The labels means tags. You can call not tags are different concept in GitHub. Label means you are assigning the label. So this is belongs to this UI module, this is backend module, this is Java changes, this is shell script changes. Maybe you may be having some label for the releases, release 1, release 2, release 3. So whichever user shows you're working on, you make the release 1, release 2 labels accordingly. That is a label. Projects we will discuss, milestones we will discuss later. Okay, so now since we don't have anyone in this repo as a collaborator, I don't see anyone here to be added. Okay, I just create a pull request now. See, my pull request got created. Okay, so my pull request has got created successfully. Now I go here. So this is my code. I still in main branch, I see only 2 files. Okay, and 3 commits. But pull request, there is 1 pull request pending. So it means I am responsible for raising the pull request, and I'm responsible for assigning proper reviewers and assigning the pull request to the correct person, and then adding proper labels and the projects. Okay, so now your scrum master or your lead or your reviewer, so he comes here, he actually gets a notification to email saying that, hey, this pull request has been assigned to you, can you look at it? So that guy will come here, he click on the pull request. So currently we have only 1 pull request. So if you're talking about a big company, big team, then you would be having multiple pull requests. Right, the 1 pull request, he comes here, he opens. So what he's seeing, He's seeing your messages. I worked on this assigned user story. Please merge the changes. He's asking for the merging the changes. Then he sees reviewers. Okay, so whether whoever you added as a reviewer has he approved changes or not. So if he hasn't taken any action, then he can leave a message here at whoever reviewer it is. Okay, if it's assigned to a Sangam, he may be at Sangam, can you please review this pull request? They call PR. Okay, as soon as possible. And then he comments it. So here you can also comment like this on this pull request. So in case if this pull request has some issues, we can also start a chat here and people respond accordingly. Okay, so now your reviewer provided the details. Okay, now he wanted to see the changes. So how he can see the changes? This is a conversation tab. This is the commits tab. So this will give you how many commits are made in this pull request, like the changes between the target branch and the source branch. We just made only one commit. It is showing one commit here. The checks called status checks. What is the status checks are? So if we have a CI integrated with our GitHub repository, whenever we create this pull request, a corresponding job in Jenkins or the GitHub action gets created or run. So once run is successful, then it sends a status check message back to this pull request saying that this build is working fine. Then you will see the green symbol here. That's called the status checks. But here we don't have it enabled. Let's leave it. Now, this is the main important part, files changed. So whenever wanted to review the pull request, he always come and verify this tab, files changed. So once he clicks on, he can clearly see the difference between what you have in the previous branch, I mean the source branch, and what you have in the current target branch. Okay, so it says that this is the fur.sh file. These are the plus, mean addition. So these are the lines are added in this branch. You see, this. Okay, so now if he thinks this line read minus p enter a number, okay, and we are entering it, he is looping it, which is perfectly fine. Okay, but when you run a shell script in a most of the shell script shouldn't be an interactive one. It should be run automatically. So then he select the plus symbol you see. So he can click the plus symbol and add the comment saying that, hey, I don't like this line here. So whichever line is offending, he can add that as a comment. Okay. Now I'm going to add a comment here. So what the comment I'm going to add? Okay. It shouldn't be interactive. Take some random number and print. Start review. So this guy is made a recommendation. So like if he's a reviewer, he will see, hey, your until loop is not good. Can you make it to for loop? So in which line you want to we have problem. So at this line, I have a problem. Okay, then, so this again, once the review is started, then the pull request person, whoever put the pull request, right? So he will get the notification saying that, hey, somebody asked for you to review something. So you can see that same information in the conversation as well. You see? So it should not be interactive. Take some random number and print. It still says pending. Okay, so whoever started the review and the guy who actually working on, he realizes, okay, so it shouldn't be interactive. Then again, he goes to his code, but technically we don't edit here. Again, I go back here. Okay, check the git status, check the git branch, same branch. He asked me to edit the here. Okay, I will have taken number. So you can just comment this, it doesn't work here. And then you can add a message. taking a random number. So number as a 10. Okay, and then you save it, git status. So now rather than you doing a git add and git commit, you can do both in one command, that is called git commit minus am. It means add and then commit as well, message as well. Okay, so modify the for.sh as per review, as per reviewer's comment. Done. Then I do git push origin. So it recommend that you always give the branch name. If you don't give, it will also work because currently you are in that branch only. See, it push the changes. So again, you go to pull request and open this and verify the conversation. So you see everything, whatever you are doing it. See, add more commits by pushing to the branch. So after this review, he has added some more commits. So you see, this is a commit. So it means whatever your reviewer said, you added that commit. Okay, let's go and check the files changed. If you go to check and files changed, now you see this is commented. We have added this one. Now he thinks this is looking good. He goes here and then he approves it. Because I cannot review my own code. This is the condition we have. So since I put the pull request and I'm not supposed to review my own code, it should be someone else. So since we don't have anyone, I was doing myself. If the Sangam is there or Prakash is there, so he will review my code, add some status saying that, hey, this is not good. Then again, I have to go back and edit that. And then Sangam comes, he sees he has made the change, then he gets this approve button enabled. But for me, it is showing disabled because I cannot review my own pull request because the pull request submitted by me and I cannot review my own code. That is what the limitations we have in the GitHub. I'm just canceling this review. So now I know that this is working fine. So I'm going to merge the code directly. This is the merge pull request. You see, merge pull request. I'm merging the pull request, confirm the merge. Now successfully merged. So once you merged it, make sure that you delete the corresponding branch because we don't want to keep the stale branches. Now branch is deleted. I go to the pull requests. Now it says 0. One is closed, which is good. I go to the code now. Now the main branch has the for.sh as well. You see, and it has the this thing. I check the commits. I see these many commits here. That is what we do on the pull requests, GitHub and the pull requests. Clear? Any doubts on this so far? Anyone?
No.
Lokesh, so if you send a request and anything, we can send all the developers, right? Not only specific on DevOps or UI testing. It can go everywhere.
Yeah. So the GitHub repo, right? So it is for the developers mostly. Okay. So whatever developers are making changes, so they will be working on all these pull requests and the details. So in case you have a DevOps team, like they are part of the 4 to 5 people, let's assume maybe you have joined an enterprise DevOps team, so where you are responsible for maintaining the tool sites like GitHub, Artifactory, Jenkins, whatever it is. Okay, in that case, again, of course, you also have some automation tasks and you are keeping them in a GitHub repositories, right? So whenever you write some automation task to automate something, your team member who is also a DevOps engineer has to review that. So in that case, you do the same thing. You create your own branches, make changes to automation, and then add him as a reviewer. So once he reviews and he approves, then the code can be merged. It is not necessary that you have to always add the reviewers, but it's a best practice to add the reviewers. Okay. So now
Okay.
let's yeah. Sorry, any more question? Okay, so now let's discuss about the merge conflicts. So what is the merge conflicts and how do we resolve it? Okay, did I tell you the merge conflicts on the source code repository will be resolved by the developers themselves. So if you are single DevOps engineer in a team and you have a big development team who are working on their own repositories, in case if they have the merge conflicts, then they have to resolve it. You won't be able to resolve it. You can just help them resolving it, but you don't take the call. The reason is, so you are a DevOps engineer and you have a 10 teams of development. They're working on the Java. You don't know Java. Okay, so one developer made the changes. Developer 2 made the changes. Developer 3 made the changes. They all three submitted the pull request to the main branch. So now they made changes to same files, same set of files. So there they got some conflicts. So now it is your responsibility to know whose changes are correct. That responsibility lays with the developer, not with the DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer can only tell you how you can resolve it, not on the content of the file. We will see it in action. Okay, that's very important. Now I have a main branch. Okay, now I am going to create two different branches. Okay, so the first branch is feature enhance loop. Okay, from the main branch I create another branch. I go back to main branch, another branch. Maybe I work on bug fix comments. Okay, bug fix comments. I added the from the main branch. So now I have main, this and this. Okay, so now I'm going to open up two windows. So this is my, let me delete this, remove -rm DevOps training. I'll open another window. See, I'm in a same place, pwd. I don't have anything. Okay, so in the black window, I'm going to work on one branch. The branch is feature enhance loop. Okay, I go here, git clone this one. So rather than, if I do that, by default, it will give me the main branch. But if you want to check out specific branch, then you need to pass -b parameter space and the branch name and which you wanted to clone. I wanted to clone this branch. See, if I go to DevOps training, if I do git branch, see, I directly have that branch. Okay, now I wanted to clone a different branch now. So this is the bug fix comments. I copy this one. Maybe I copy this one first. Git clone this -b branch. The branch name is bug fix comment. So if I hit the enter, it gives me an error. Let's see. It says the DevOps training already exists because the folder already there, directory. So I can do a different naming. You do the same command. Here you give the directory name, the new directory name. So you can say DevOps training bug fix.
Lokesh, every time the code will be changing.
No, the code will not change.
No, every
We
time
have to
being
make the changes.
different. I mean, every time you are copying the code and you are pasting right here.
This is remain change. This is remain same. This is the source, your hosted repository where you have your GitHub. Okay, and we are cloning it, and this is the branch, specific branch. So if I don't give the directory, by default this will be used to create the directory. But here I'm asking the Git client to clone in this directory rather than this. Okay, if I do ls-lh here, I see this. Okay, so now I go into the bug fix. If I do git branch, one second. Huh, my son got up. So this is the bug fix command branch, and this is the main branch. Okay, so now we know the difference, right? So now let's go ahead and make the changes. Okay, so I am working on the file called I need to enhance the loop. I'm editing the for.sh file here. Okay, so I need to add this, right? Taking the random number. It's not random number. Taking, rather than doing this, I'm doing printing from 1 to 10. So I'm adding the comment here. Okay, this is the for loop, and I'm add another one here. This is the while loop. While I less than or equal to num, like this only, right? I am doing wrong. Let me do this. $I less than or equal to dollar num 2. So I just added the loop. Okay, git status. I have this file. I do git commit minus am. I'm committing the changes. Okay, updated for loop. Done. Now I'm working on bug fix branches. I also edit the same for.sh loop because I don't see the changes. So if I do the cat here, I am seeing this comment and this section, right? But I don't have it here because they are two different branches. This branch is different and this branch is different. Okay, so now my responsibility. So this is developer 1, the black one. This is developer 2 in the maroon one. And developer 2, he needs to add the comments. So he sees that, okay, enter the number here. This is a comment already, so they don't need it. So he deletes this. Now enter random number. So now he comes here and makes a statement. Okay, adding printing numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, and then he wanted to add here, taking a random number, he sees something different, so he puts a colon here, dot here. Okay, and then he adds another comment here, This is a for loop. So he done with these changes. Okay, so then he also commits it. Git commit minus am added comments to for loop. Done. So now let's look again. I'm clearing the both places here. So in branch 1, developer A added these changes and developer B added these changes. So it happens. So two developers can work on one common file sometimes. Okay, so now the contents are different. Now let's save it and push the changes. So git push origin, then git push origin. The changes are pushed successfully, right? So now let's go back to github.com, refresh this. So let's check first the bug fix comments. In the bug fix comments, I see the changes added. So dot is there and this for loop is there, which is perfect. Now let's check the feature enhanced loop. Feature enhanced loop has the while conditions, which is perfect. So now what happens? Your pull request. So you need to merge the changes, right? So developer 1, he started from his branch. So from feature enhanced branch to main branch, he put the pull request and said added the while loop as per the requirement and then create the pull request. Now another developer, now developer B, he also comes, he creates a new pull request to the main branch from his bug fix branches. Now create a pull request. Now he says added the comments to for.sh file as instructed. So now we do have here two pull requests. You see, pull request 1 and pull request 2. Okay, so your developer, your lead comes. So what he says, so this is the first one, right? Third one. So he comes here and then what he does, he sees the files changed. So this is the previous file. So you have this previous. So echo taking a not the current one. So current in main branch, you have this. So this will be replaced with this. Okay, so this is looks good. Okay, now it makes sense. And then 5 number 10 number 10. 6 for loop is this and this is the for loop is here. Same. But this is the plus symbol, he added a new things. So he thinks this is perfectly fine and then he approves it. I don't see the approve because I cannot review my own branch, own pull request. So what he will do, he go here and then he merges the changes. Merge pull request, confirm merges. So he merged the pull request, he deletes the branch. Successfully fine. If I go to the code, in the main branch, there is an exit. In the main branch, he can see the latest changes while loop here. Now next again, he comes here and verifies to this loop, another pull request. So now he sees the conflict. Now you don't see the green button here. It says this branch has the conflicts. Conflicts means GitHub is actually smart. So if GitHub sees changes to some files, then it compares what are the changes. Are they new changes? Are the changes to existing files? If the changes to existing files, then compare both files and sees whether the both changes are intact. Like developer A might have made changes from 1 to 10 lines. Developer 2 may have changes from 10, 20 to 30 lines. So they are not changed. So GitHub will merge it because there is no impact. But if both developers made changes to the same set of code, then GitHub doesn't know who is right? Like a DevOps engineer. So I don't know whose changes are correct. Developer A is a Java guy, developer 2 is a Java guy, and I am a non-Java guy. So how do I know whose changes are correct? That's why we don't resolve the merge conflict. We only recommend them how to solve it. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, you see this, there is a conflicts. Now how do you resolve it? You click on the resolve conflict here. So resolve conflict will show both changes in one file. Okay, so you see this bracket here. So it seems, so these are all the places where you will have the conflict, because it's a new line. While dot is a new line, so it doesn't change. It's a new line added. I don't worry about this. I can merge it easily. But I'm worried about these lines of changes because both branches, both developers worked on same set of code. Now I don't know who is right, who is wrong. So GitHub throw that at you. So as a DevOps engineer or as a Scrum Master, so then we have to take the call. So he'll work with the developer. Then he compares both changes. So you see this symbol here. So this is coming from the bug fix branches. Okay, and this is what you have currently in the main branch. Okay, so you need to fix that, right? So it says this is the bug fix branch. They are coming here. So you seeing this is right or this is right. Then you have to take a call. So it says taking a random number. It has a dot, printing from 1 to 10. So these things perfect to you. So then what you need to do, you see this equal here. So this says this or this, this or this. So now I want to take this as a right one. So what you need to do, you need to delete this line first, done, and then delete this line first, and whatever contents you want, no, delete this line second, sorry, this line second. Now you see these changes are these changes. So I wanted to keep these changes. So you delete this entire till here, right? Merge conflict, or even here till here. That's it. You resolve the conflict. Now mark as resolved. Now you go to the pull request. Okay, I need to, it's asking you to the merge. Now the changes are resolved. See, now it says a merge pull request. So in the drop down, you see squash and merge. You always choose the squash and merge if it is coming up here. So what squash is going to do is, it is going to keep all the commits as a one commit. It doesn't make it, but it shows you like that. It's easy access. So I do this and then squash and merge. Now I merge the change, delete the branch. That's it. So now if I go to the main code, if I put the for loop, I have the while as well, and I have my comment as well. So this is how the merge conflicts are resolved. So again, thumb rule, as a DevOps engineer, you do not resolve the merge conflicts of a development team. You are only responsible for showing them a way to solve it. And if you are working on your own repository, you have made the changes, and then it is your responsibility to resolve it because that is your repository. Okay, that's how we need to work on the merge conflicts and the pull requests. Any questions on this? Any questions? Hello?
No, once we
No?
do it, we'll come with the
Yes.
questions. Yeah.
Right. So this is how you need to work. Okay. So now we have the source code, we have pull requests, and then we know how to clone the repositories, and then we know how to create the, and one more thing I want to tell you is a .git ignore file. What is the .git ignore file? So once you are done with this, so you can delete this. Let me delete the repository, remove -rf, DevOps training, remove -rf training. Okay, so now I'm going to clone it again. I come back, same. So I do the same command, git clone, default branch. So I clone my repo. I go inside here. This is fine. Okay, so now I'm running the file and creating. So this is a git clone, right? I just made a clone. Before that, let me show you the git pull as well first. So this is my code and I'm in this branch, main branch. Okay, so now I'm going to run this sh test.sh. I'm sending this output to test.log. Okay, so I ran this. Now let me check what I have in test.log. So I have this file. Now let me run the for as well. sh for.sh slash for.log. So now let me see what do I have in for.log. I have this content. This is like a random printing, right? I'm just printing the output. So if I do git status, so you have two files here, right? So, but do you really need to track these log files? You don't need, right? Because those are for you to verify whether the code you have written is working properly or not. And those log files are generated after you execute your commands. Absolutely fine. So you don't need those. So we can ignore these files? There is a file called .gitignore. What does it do? So it is going to keep a list of files that it needs to ignore. It doesn't track it. Okay, so if I do vim git ignore, so I wanted to ignore for.log file. Okay, I added this file. That's it. So now you're seeing for log here, right? If I do git status, you don't see that. Rather, you see the new file called .gitignore. It's a new file. That's fine. So it means, so if you have this file .gitignore and you mention which files you want to ignore, that the git will ignore those files. It doesn't track it. So now I'm going to add that git ignore .git ignore file, and then I'm going to commit it. Yeah. Git commit -m, added git ignore file. Okay, to git status. I have test.log. So now I also want to ignore that file as well. So rather than star.file, I can just do star.log files. Ignore all the star.log files. Okay. Now if I do git status, I don't even see the test.log here. So let me commit that file. Updated git ignore file. Okay. Git status clean. So if I create a new log file, a.log file, okay. Now if I do git status, it's always clean because it is ignoring log files. The why is you want to ignore it. So let's suppose there is another configuration log file. So this is a configuration of your application. So this contain sections A, section B. So let's suppose this is the configuration file which is important for your repository. But if you do git status, it is not tracking those files. If you do git push origin, you don't see that file available here. You can only see the .gitignore file only. You are ignoring these two files, these two formats. But the config dot, but you see here the config, where is the config? Did I create?
You didn't save it,
Yeah, I didn't
Lokesh.
say probably. Yeah. So now we have a git config.log file, right? Even though git status, it is not still tracking. But I can see this config.log file in my local, but I don't have it here. So even though if I do git add something and git commit something, adding the config.log, and I do git push to origin, everything is up to date. So I cannot see it here. The reason behind is, so my .git ignore file is actually ignoring that one because I used a pattern called star.log. It is ignoring all the star ended by .log. So if you want to allow only the config, then we use comment, I think. So comment config.log. So it means you consider all the log files, star.log files, but except this one. Okay, let's see. If I do git status, oops, it's not still showing. Let me add not, I think. It's not comment, it's not, yeah, not config.log file. Yeah, see, it is now showing. So even though you have a rule that ignore all the star.log files, except this one, you are saying by adding a not there. See, not config.log file. Ignore all the star.log file except this one. Okay, that is how you add this. Now you can do add git commit -m, adding config.log file. You can do git push now. That's it. Now we can see the file here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so let me just check. Let me just status of my son. Okay. Yeah, my son is still sleeping. So if you guys find I can continue without a break. The reason is he burnt his hand day before yesterday. So one person always have to watch him. So if you guys find, I'll continue for another 30 minutes without a break.
Go ahead, Lokesh. We don't need
Go ahead.
break.
Yeah, sure. If you want, you can put the headset on, take a small break while listening. Okay. So I have now config map. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add you guys as a contributors. Okay. I'm going to add you guys as a contributors. So I go here, settings. Now I have manage access. I need to give authenticate one more time. You see, invite a collaborator. So I'm going to invite you guys as a collaborator to this DevOps training so that we can maybe rather than this, let me create a new organization. In a company, this is my personal, but in a company, you would be having your own organization. Let's suppose SUV organization. In that, you will have your repositories you can create. So that I'm going to create now the organization quickly. So you see the organization. I'm going to create one organization now, new organization. I would pick the free because we're doing nothing, right? This is the team, this is the enterprise, but I'm going to pick the free one. Organization account name is going to be SUV officials. Okay, contact email. Of course, I'm going to give my email. Yeah, my personal account. It's not a business. Next. So now I got my thing ready. So now I need to invite the people who wanted to be part of this organization. So if you can give me your GitHub handle ID, I can invite you. You will get a notification. So if you guys can ping me your details in a chat, I'll invite you guys immediately so that we can collaborate. So what I need to do is, so github.com, after you log in, you see / something, right? I want that one. or the email address you have used to register the GitHub. So I'm going to invite. Yep, I got. I think I don't know Anuya as an email. There are so many Anuya. Yeah, I will add Anuya later. So Archana is one pending. Do you have Archana account? Okay, so I'm going to complete the setup now. So you guys would have received an email. Okay, how many people do you expect to actively work in the organization? 1 or 5, I would say. What type of business? Personal projects. What do you expect? GitHub manage, collaborate, and manage code. Work. Yeah, that's it. Do you have any portfolio projects? Nope. Done. So now we
Isha,
got our SUV official.
my email address.
Okay, did you ping? Okay. So you would have received a notification, guys. So just make sure that you accept the invitation. So this is how you invite. So now you see different because we are an SU official organization, not our personal organizations. So I'm going to invite the people. Where is that? Members, base permissions, repository creations, teams. Have you guys received a notification?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Rani accepted. So now I go and invite Archana as well here. Invite. It's member. So now everybody is a member here actually. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make you guys as a write permissions. It's invitation still. I'm waiting. So he's the owner. So I'm going to make, we can also create a team, but I don't discuss on the team now. I'll just discuss this change role. I'm going to make you not the owner. I'm going to manage. Why it's only member. Okay, so now I have 2 people here that who are accepted thing. So now I'm going to create a team. So team means group of people. Again, in your organization, you can create the teams like HR team, finance team, and then you have so-and-so team, project A, project B team, right? And then you can assign the details. So maybe I'll explain how the teams and the GitHub works here. Then you can easily understand that. So let me join from my mobile. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I open the terminal. So in GitHub, right, in generally, so how do we have here access setup is, so you have here organization, okay, and then you invite everybody people like 1, 2, 3, like you have 100 peoples. So they are all have access to your SUV organization, right? Now, this organization may contain the repositories, right? So repo 1, repo 2, repo 3. Okay, so this repo 1 may belongs to HR, may this belongs to finance. This may belongs to reporting team, right? But do you really need to grant 100 people access to all the repos? Yes, so as they are part of the SUV of organization, they can see all the repositories, they can read it. But do you really want all of them to write it, edit it? No, right? Because all the 100 people are not going to work on all the repos, right? Again, you would be having a separate people. So you are going to create a teams here. So team HR, and then you add people. So P1 and P10 are part of the HR team. And then you create another team called finance. In this finance, I have developers from P2 to P10, P9. Okay, and then you have a RPT team. RPT team, I have developers from P20 to P30. These are all developers working for RPT. And then, so once you create the teams here, okay, then you grant the access. Okay, so HR team can access the repo HR, and the finance team can access repo finance. RPT team can access this one. Okay, and again, so since HR people are actually quite a top position in the company, so you are letting HR people also access finance repository and also your RPT repository. So now if a person joins company, he gets invitation to join SUV. Once he joins SUV, then the team, again you have a team, right? So if he want to get the right access to the HR repo, then that guy should be added to the DIS teams. Then he get access to all the HR repositories. So if a new person is part of the reporting team and he is added to RPT team, then he gets access to only RPT repository, not the remaining repository, right? This is like a access controls. This is called RBAC, role-based access controls. Whatever you are currently playing a role in the organization, then you get access to those set of repositories only, whatever your team owner set for. Clear? Because the same, right? So when you join the company, you're not going to do all the work. You just do the work what you hired for. To do that, you don't need to access all the repositories, only few repositories. When you enter the building, you don't need to access all the floors, only the floors that you are going to work. The same way here. Okay, so now let's create, let me clear this. Now let's create our teams as well here. So now I go to the SU officials and click on the teams, my first team. This teams is a DevOps team, or maybe I can say team DevOps. Okay, I would say pertains to DevOps team in the company. Okay, visible or secret? So visible. Now once team is created, then you are going to add the members. So again, you need to add the members. So you know your team members, right? So I know Rani name is there. I invite and then add a member. Not a member. I didn't approve this. Sangam is approved, right? So Sangam invited. Not a member. So currently I have only these two members as a member of my SU officials. So I can able to add them, right? So now, yeah.
I changed the address actually.
Okay. So did you ping me the?
Archana it is there.
Can you ping me the name? Okay, so SUV officials. So let me go and check the members here, people. Okay, I have got the Prakash also approved. Okay, it's a Prakash 0610. So I'm going to team here and I'm going to add DevOps team. DevOps team. I go to the members and add in the members invite. So now this is my DevOps team. Okay, now currently I have only 3 people, which
I
is
have
okay.
added.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll send the invitation. So I'm going to send the invitations. So currently I have only these 3 members who are approved. So I can only add these 3 people at the moment to the team DevOps. Okay. So now I have added the teams, right? So if I click the teams, I can change the privileges as well. So what they can do on how many repositories. Okay. So now I go to the officials first. I go to the repositories. I don't have any repository. I create my first repository here. So it is going to be, let's say, maybe I would say bash scripts. Okay, I got my bash script repository. I'm going to say this contains examples of bash scripting. It's a private repository because it's going to only owned by my SU officials. Add a readme file, and I'm also adding the get.gitignore file as well. Just remove this. So bash scripts is a new repository I have added. I'm going to add another repository, which I would keep it as a secret. Secrets. Okay, contains secrets of logins. So private, I'm going to add readme file, get repository. So now if I go to SU officials, I have 2 repositories, secrets and the bash scripts. Okay, so now I go to the teams, DevOps team. I'm going to grant. So DevOps teams are supposed to access only bash script, not the secrets. So I go to the repositories here, add repository. So which repository I want to grant access to them? Bash scripts, right? So bash scripts repository, add repository. So they can only see the bash scripts. So under SU official, I have a team called DevOps team, and I have granted only 1 repository access to them. But SU official has actually 2 repositories. But when these people access, they can only see this one. What privilege they have? They have currently only read. Now I can change this to write. So read means they can only see the contents. So write means they can read, clone, and push to the repository. Can also manage issues and pull requests. Okay, or the admin. Admin can read, clone, push to the repository. They can also manage issues, pull requests, and some repository settings. Admin means they are complete admin. They have full privileges on the repository. Okay, so I'm going to make this bash scripts as admin for you guys. Now you are admins. So who are admins to this repository? These members. Okay, so I sent an email, right? Everyone, please accept my invitation so that I can add you guys here so that we can work it on. Okay, so I go back to people now. I'm still waiting for the pending invitation confirmation from these people. Can you log in to your GitHub account or the Gmail account and approve the invitation? So now let's create a repository. Okay, so already I have the bash scripts repository. So now what you guys are going to do is I'm going to assign some tasks. How I'm going to assign the tasks? Okay, so first I'm going to assign the task by using the issues here. What are the issues? So issues are currently used to track the problems in your source code. Okay, currently we don't have any source code here. I'm going to use these issues and assign the tasks for you guys which you are going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to create the issues here. The first issue I will create, issue name is I want to update a variable file. Okay, please create a shell script that shows various variables and usage. Okay, and then I'm going to assign this to, let me create myself. It's the first, right? I'm going to show this. So label. So what label it's going to be? It is going to be a shell script, right? I'm going to say example. Examples. I don't have a label. I create a new label called examples. That's it. Projects, but don't worry about this. And then I'm going to create the submit new issue. So now if I go to the issue, there is one issue assigned to Loki. So now I'm going to add another issue here. Create issue, create an example file for loops. Please create a file that has while for loops. And I'm going to assign this to Sangam. Sangam is ready, okay? And labels, it is an example, right? I'm going to put the examples here and then submit this. Now Sangam gets an email saying that one issue has been assigned to him. Now I create another issue here. Loops are there, and then conditions. Condition. Please create an example file for conditions. It should cover below. If else, yeah, if else, that's fine. I'm going to assign this to who left Prabhu. Again, it's part of the examples. Example label, submit a new issue. Okay, so now I have 3 issues open, right? So I did not assign one to Rani. So let me assign another one as well. So what do we have? We have conditions, we have loops, we have arrays. I'm going to assign this to Rani. Labels as an examples. Submit a new issue. And then I'm going to assign one more issues. Create a script that reads package name as an argument and installs that package. Okay, so I'm going to assign this to Sravya. Label is going to be example. Okay, so now I have currently 5 issues open. Okay, so now I need to work on mine. So one is assigned to me, right? So now you guys are going to work the way I show you now. Okay, so first I go here. So if you don't see SU official, you click on this AutoCAD. Okay, in the drop down you see here. Okay, choose SU official. You come to here. You have these now. I go to the bash script repository. You come to the issues. You have seen this. So variable file is here. So what I'm going to do is I go back to my session here. I remove this thing. So my video is clean. So first thing what you do, you come to the code. You don't copy. You first create the branch because you are going to work on your own branches. Okay. So my first is a variable, right? I'm going to create feature enhance. So I'm going to work on give your name as well. Okay, don't forget give your name as well so that I can easily know who is actually working on that branch. So Loki here and then variables, right? Create from main. So when you are selecting, make sure that you create from the main branch. Okay, main branch. My branch is created. Now I'm going to clone this. Git clone this. Now I specify -b branch. My branch name is this. So I cloned into my branch successfully. Okay, I go inside my branch. If I do git branch here, I have this. So I need to add my variables example. That's fine. I'm going to add a first file var.sh bin/sh. You put the comment. This file explains about variables and usage. Okay, so I would first say string variables, like you would say var1 is equal to hello, var2 is equal to world. You can print them. So how do you print it? var1 space $var2 and then echo number variables. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B, right? No, I would do like this. expr A $A plus $B. Echo the sum of A and B is $C. Okay, I added this. Now let me run sh var.sh. Output is var.log. So now if I do var.log file, I see it is working fine for me. Okay, now what I can see, I do git status here. Okay, I have var.log var. This one. I'm going to create the .git ignore. You don't need to create, okay, because I'm creating. It's going to be common across everyone. So I have a git ignore here. Then I'm going to add my var.log file. You don't need to do the git ignore, guys. Okay, git status. Now at git add, git commit, added variable files. Then I'm done. I'm going to push my changes. I'm done with my changes, right? So now I come back here. I refresh the screen. So in my branch, I have the var.sh. So now what is my responsibility? So now my responsibility is to create a pull request. Okay. Now I go to pull request, click on the new pull request. Now I need to merge to main from which branch? Loki variables branch. Okay. Create pull request. So while creating, I'm going to add the reviewers. So I'm going to add reviewer as a Sangam. So Sangam is going to review my code now. Okay, and then this pull request is assigned to Prakash. Where is the Prakash? Here. So it means the Sangam is a reviewer. So he is going to verify my code and approve it. He just approves it. If he has some problem, then he will comment on it. Okay, so once Sangam reviews, and provides approve, then only Prakash has to merge the code. Okay, so labels, we can also add examples labels to this as well, and then create pull request. So now I see I have added for the review. I can merge it, but don't merge it. I have added the reviewer, right? So reviewer needs to provide. Sangam, I hear you very less. Can you be a bit loud? Yeah. I can't hear you still if you're speaking.
No, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
speaking.
So if you have logged into the github.com, okay, and in this, so you would have come to this pull request, okay. So
Yeah.
what you would do is, so as a reviewer, so you come to pull request, you come to here, you verify the statement, you check the files changed here, okay.
Yeah.
Then you verify what files are changed. So this is a new file because it's not there. Okay, you added the .gitignore file, you added this, which is good. And then there's a second file, var.sh. We added this file for the variable. So if you think this is good, you click on this, you add your statements. You can say looks good to me, or as a shortcut LGTM. Or if you don't like it, you can add the statement as well. So if you don't like this, so var.log, you can select here, say why just var.log, why not star.log, and then start a review. So once you do this review, so if you don't like this is your review. So you want to do this review. Once you start the review, then I get the notification. Then I see the status. Hey, looks like Sangam recommending these changes. Then I'll make the change. So can you please log into GitHub, go to this pull request and add the review to the var.log, asking me to make it to star.log, and click on the start review. Then we can see the change in the pull request. Let me know once you've done this.
Okay.
You can see the pull request now, right?
Yeah, I'm just okay.
Yeah. So he's making the change. Currently, we don't have anything here, right? He left a comment here. Please make it star.log. By looking at this comment, the Prakash says, hey, looks like Sangam is asking some changes. So I should not approve this change. I should not merge this. Then I saw the changes. So he's asking to make this change. I click on the view changes. He's asking me to make this. I need to make the edit here, right? So what I can do, I can directly go to my branch. I go to the code here, go to my branch, and then edit the file directly here. No worries. I click on the edit. Now make it to star.log as he made the recommendation. I commit it. So now I go to the pull requests. So he said, please make it star.log, and there is a commit followed by. So which is good. Now you can review it. So I see the button. I'm asking him to again re-review it because I made the changes now, right? See, now again Sangam will review that. Can you review that, Sangam? So if you
Yeah.
think it's good, just say it's approved. You just approve the review comments.
Okay.
So you see one pending reviewer still. Looks like it's still doing it. You go to the files changed and then approve it. Select the approve button.
Okay. Yeah. I hit the
Yeah,
review
see?
button. Yeah.
Oh, hit the review and approved it.
Yeah. Yeah. I did the review.
Yeah, so he did, it's approved. So now what Prakash can do, so he has assigned, right? So he can go and merge the pull request. Prakash, if you are logged in, can you do that?
Yeah, sorry, I got a phone call, sir. I will do it.
Yeah, so rather than merge pull request, do the squash and merge here. You did? Yeah, so pull request is merged. You can delete the branch. It is done, right? So Prakash, merge the change. So now if I go to this pull request, I can see entire conversation here, what happened on this here. So first this guy put a pull request and then Sangam requested for to make the change. And then this guy made the changes and again he re-reviewed, he approved. And then Prakash merged the change to main branch. Clear? This is what the flow it is going to be. Okay. So now you can delete that branch. I'll delete it for you. So I'm deleting the branch. Okay. So now if I go to the code here, now I see my change here, main branch. See, this is the official way of how in a company works. So developer put a pull request and the reviewer is assigned and your scrum lead, other development lead, he pulls the request. Okay, so in a company also people actually put the protection on the, because they don't trust the team members. Some team members, they just directly do the changes in main branch or master branch and merge the codes. That's a bad habit. So to prevent that, so you go to the settings, you have a bash script, right, repo, you go to the settings here. Okay, and you see branches, branch protection rules. I'm going to I don't have branch protection. They have disabled it. What they do, you can protect the branch here. They're asking me to pay the money now. So what they do, they protect the branches. So branches means, so I can only make these people to have these checks, like my pull request, at least one person is reviewed, right? And my status checks are passed. Then only you enable that merge option. Otherwise it doesn't show it. Since we are in free account, it is not available for us. Okay, so that's what it is, your code. So what you guys are going to do today or maybe tomorrow, I would recommend that you do it today. So you don't need to try to work on the files, because already we have these examples in our DevOps references. You can take those references, modify according to your task only. Okay, and then you do the same thing. You create a new branch first, and then you clone your branch, and then you add the file, and then you push the file. So once you push the file, then you create a pull request. While creating pull request, choose the source branch. The target branch is always main, and then you add the reviewers. Okay, so make sure that you yourself add one reviewer. So if you Arani, if you add Archana reviewer, make sure that try to approve the pull request. Okay, so you get the email notifications. So whenever you see the notifications, make sure that you recommend them. So if you don't want to watch Gmail, you just log into github.com. You get all the notifications here as well. Okay, that also you could do. So that's it for today's class. So you guys do those, and then we'll come back and review. So do not delete the branches. Okay, don't delete the branch. You just merge the chain. That's it. So in case if there are any conflicts, I'm sure you don't get the conflicts because we are working on different set of files. You are going to create a new file, right? That's the thing. And last thing, I wanted to show you one thing, that is the git pull. So we have been doing the push, right? Okay, we have been doing push so far, but we didn't discuss about the git pull. What is the git pull is about? So now let me go ahead, remove the batch script now. Okay, I'm going to pull this main branch as it is. Okay, I would say git pull, sorry, git clone. I'm going to clone it first. I got the clone. I went inside the directory. Okay, so the git branch is this. If I do git pull, pull is going to pull the latest changes. Okay, so if I do git pull origin, everything is up to date. Okay, so I have my, I'm going to add a new file here. So test file. So I'm going to create test.sh, just a full test file. Okay, I do git status, git add, git commit. Okay, so git status, I had a one thing. Okay, so in meanwhile, someone accidentally, not accidentally, so you have been working on your changes and you went on your vacation. Okay, so in your branch that you are working on, someone else made some changes. Okay, so in the var.sh, they have added some change. Let's say maybe they have added some comments. Okay, this is a comment. Now I commit the change directly. It's a bad practice. See, so when you clone the code, the repo was up to date. After that, you made the change in locally and your remote also got updated, right? Your remote now also got updated. So how you are going to, how your repo is going to manage that? Because if you push, so if you see the git log here, so you have the initial 2 commits and then the third commit. But in the GitHub, if you look at the commits, you have 3 commits, but this commit is missing, 388 commit. So you have 1A8073, 1A80738 matching. Perfect. This is also matching. Perfect. But this one, 38816 is not there, which is missing. So if you push your change, what happens? Is it going to override the repo? So because if you push the changes, which has 3 commits and this different commit, do you think the Git will overwrite the existing code with your latest code? Because if I push it directly, what is going to happen? So this change is there, but this change is a new change which will be added. Now what happens to this change? The 3881608. Is it going to be get deleted or is it going to be merged? Let's see. Now I do the git push. I don't know that someone made changes to GitHub repository directly. I do the git push origin. So your git complaints says that, hey dude, so when you pulled last time, after that, your target repo, the remote repository has gone with some more updates. So those changes you don't have in your local. So what you need to do, so your git which doesn't allow you to override the changes. So now what git recommends you is you first invite all the new changes in your local, then merge your local changes with what we have on the GitHub, because GitHub is going to be ultimate boss. So whatever you have in hosted repository, that is perfect. Okay, so you have to modify your changes accordingly. So to do that, you need to pull the latest changes again. That is called the git pull command. Okay, if I put git pull origin, it is going to pull the changes. It is going to merge automatically. Pull means fetch plus merge. Okay, it is going to merge automatically. I'm saving the same commit message. This is, I saved it. See, the 2 plus are added. So if I do git log, now am I seeing the commits? Update var file here 388168, 38811608. So now we have all the commits. I have this commit and this commit, this commit and this commit, and the new merge commit as well. So this commit is a merge of the one you have in the remote repository and the one you have in the local. So both got merged and created one new commit. So this commit will have your changes and also GitHub repo changes. So we're not losing any changes now. So now this will allow me to push it. See, git push origin, it went to origin now. So if I go ahead and refresh this, I see the test.sh as well. And I also see the changes in var.sh as well. That is what the git pull command. So GitHub never allows you to overwrite or delete the existing changes. It always verifies the commit history, and the commit history should matches. So whatever changes you have in the remote repository should have in the local repository first before you make the changes. Okay, that's what about this GitHub. So today or tomorrow, what you guys are going to do is create new branches yourself, make the changes, create a pull request, add the reviewers, add the approvers, put the labels, and then submit a pull request. Watch for the action. So in case if you have received an update, make sure that you do that. So if you have received a request from someone, just take an action. Or you can ping in WhatsApp group. Here, something, hey, Sangam, I have assigned this pull request. Can you please look into it? They will look into it when they have time. Okay. So let me see. I think we haven't added some more people. Let me grant access. So DevOps team members. I invited to this. And then, yep. So only these people we have right on the call now. Yeah. I will add Anuya later once she joins. Okay, so now you have got admin access on this repository, the batch script repository. So you guys are good to do your work. Okay, cool. Cool. So you guys start working on, and then we will meet tomorrow. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.